Hey guys, welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're talking about the brand new 2D platformer Mario game, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. But before we get started, I'm Falso21. I love playing games and I love making videos, so if you guys enjoy the content, be sure to show us some love and drop a like on the video and consider subscribing to the channel. Little disclaimer here, we will be talking about and showing things that people may or may not deem spoilery, so here's your warning. So to start off, I feel like it's been a super long time since I played a 2D Mario, let alone a Mario game. I feel like the last time I actually bought one was Mario Odyssey, like forever ago. And honestly, I think the last time I played like a 2D Mario was like back on the Wii U. I think it was Super Mario World. I could be wrong on that one. I just know it's been a super long time. And man, I didn't realize how much I missed just regular old 2D Mario until I played Mario Wonder. Like, man, this is I mean, nothing against Mario Odyssey or the 3D Mario games, but 2D Mario, in my opinion, is the best type of Mario, which is what Mario Wonder is all about, so let's talk about it. The game starts out in the brand new Flower Kingdom, with Prince Florian showing Mario and the gang his Wonder Flower. And pretty much like every Mario game, Bowser shows up and steals something, typically Princess Peach, but here he takes the Wonder Flower, and in doing so he combines himself and the flower into Castle Bowser, while at the same time corrupts all of the other regions of the Flower Kingdom. Mario and the gang set out to stop them, which is really cool because you can play this game up to 4 players co-op, as well as online co-op, which was really fun playing couch co-op with my family. We had a lot of fun with all 4 of us playing at the same time. They also have characters like Yoshi and Nabbit that don't take damage, making it a lot easier for some of the younger kids to play. They also introduce a few new power-ups. We got the elephant fruit, which pretty self-explanatory, turns you into a big elephant. You could smash through bricks, smash things out of the sky, and you could suck up water and shoot out water. Next up, we have the Bubble Flower, very similar to the Fire Flower, but here you shoot out bubbles instead of fire, which can take enemies out, and if you time it right, you can blow the bubbles and bounce off the bubbles to get some of those high-to-reach places. I definitely was not very good at this. And lastly, we have the Drill Mushroom, which puts a drill on your head and allows you to either go up into the ground or into the ceiling, either to get away from enemies or obstacles, all 3 of which were a lot of fun, but I'd have to say that my favorite was definitely the new elephant fruit. There's a lot of missions where you get to decide. It drops a bunch of different power-ups and you get to choose which power-up you want for the level. I always went with the elephant fruit just because it was so fun and just so different. We also have a few returning power-ups like the Super Mushroom, which is pretty standard, the Fire Flower, as well as the Superstar. And the last thing that is pretty big for Mario Wonder is the Wonder Flower, which completely changes the world around you. Every time you find that, each level has their own Wonder Flower that you can find, and it just totally changes everything. Sometimes you can have a herd of rhinos chasing you that are just destroying everything as they rampage through the level. Or you can get turned into Metal Mario and try to dodge through electricity beams and stuff like that. So every single time you got one of these Wonder Flowers, it just totally changes the world around you. And sometimes it even changed you. Sometimes you would change into different things. Like there was one level where it changed me into a giant Goomba. So it was always really cool to try and find all of these Wonder Flowers in each area just to see what craziness would happen. There are a total of 6 different, I don't know if you want to say areas or biomes, but they're more or less like the same style that we've gotten in pretty much every Mario game. Like, you got your forest area, you got your desert area, a lava area. So, personally, I was a little bummed that we didn't get more, like, unique areas. We got kind of the standard. Yeah, I guess there's, like, the cloud area or the cotton candy area. I'm not even sure what it is. But other than that, pretty much all of the areas are more or less what we've seen in typical Mario games. But after you beat the area boss, you get a Royal Wonder Seed, which you could use to get rid of one of the Cloud Piranhas protecting Castle Bowser, which kind of brings me up to my first big complaint. So first off, each area there's a total of 6 Wonder Flower or Royal Wonder Flowers, and you have to use all 6 to be able to go to Castle Bowser to fight him. Like I said, this brings me to my first issue, which is the bosses. So each area has more or less a middle main area where like a ship shows up and you kind of fight through the ship to destroy the ship. No boss fight there, but the next time you fight him at the very end of the level, you always fight Bowser Jr., which I don't necessarily have an issue with. It was just that every time you fought Bowser Jr., he was more or less the same, just like with one extra thing added on top of it. So for instance, the first time he just kind of jumps around and spins around and you have to kind of jump over his spinning shell, jump on his head a few times, and you beat him. Next time you encounter him, he does the same thing, except for he shoots out little jaws that kind of track you, and so each time it adds something a little different. I don't know, I was just hoping for a little bit more variety, just because they added one or two things here and there, yes, but it was still essentially the same thing. Dodge all the stuff, bounce on his head, which I guess honestly is the same for all the Mario bosses, but at least in presentation wise, the final boss, Castle Bowser, was so cool. I loved like the rock theme that they had going on, and just that whole fight in general had several phases, and each part was really fun to do. I almost forgot, the game also introduces what's called badges. They're kind of like little power-ups that you can keep throughout the level. Things like an extra high jump, or like a double jump if you accidentally jump off the edge into something that would end you, like lava or spikes. They even have one that starts you up with a power mushroom. So all these little badges were a lot of fun, and I often changed them depending on what I was doing with the level. As far as levels go, they were all really enjoyable. They're all very different and unique, and like I said earlier, each one contains a wonder flower somewhere hidden within the level, so finding that was also really fun. And considering that there are over 100 levels, it's quite impressive. No two levels were the same. They all had a unique feel to them. Some of them were more difficult, some of them were pretty easy. They even have some 4 and 5 star levels, those ones being quite challenging. And in all of these levels, they also have a talking flower that you'll come across in all of these levels. And it's weird because it's like the only thing that actually talks. Everything else is just kind of text dialogue, but the flower actually does speak to you, which kind of threw me off at first. Sometimes he just randomly will say stuff, but other times he'll give you like a little hint of like, oh, maybe try going up this way. And so you're like, okay, well, obviously there might be something up there. But overall, I thought the levels were a lot of fun. And that's just one thing. It's just that this game overall was just a lot of fun to play. Like, it wasn't super heavy on the story. Like, it's pretty standard Mario story. Bowser comes and steals something, and you gotta go and try to rescue the realm. Pretty standard. But man, the gameplay is just so much fun. Like, it was a blast coming home and playing with family, playing by myself, and just knocking out a couple levels. Which brings me into my final thoughts. Overall, I had an absolute blast with Mario Wonder. It was a lot of fun. As I mentioned earlier, it's just one of those games that's just simply fun to play. Like, I had so much fun just sitting down on the couch, knocking out a couple levels. It was also really fun playing with families with that 4-player co-op. I liked how they introduced several different characters that, I mean, they're not new characters, but like the Nabbit and Yoshis don't take damage, making it easier for my kids to play. I thought all of the levels were really good, and I really liked the Wonder Flowers in each of these levels that just drastically changed either you or the level, or sometimes both. So that was a lot of fun, and that is why I'm going to give Super Mario Bros. Wonder an 8 out of 10. Honestly, the only things that I wish that were a little bit better was, I just thought that the areas were pretty standard. The only things that I wish that were a little bit better is just like the levels. Like, the levels themselves were great, but just like the biomes, we got our standard forest and our lava area and our foresty area. So, I don't know, I just wish that there was a little bit more unique areas. And then, that's kind of more of like a minor thing, but the big thing is that I just wish that the boss variety was just better. Don't get me wrong, fighting Bowser was awesome, and fighting some of the Bowser Juniors was also really fun. But more than half the bosses are you just fighting Bowser Jr. over and over again. So I just wish that there was a little bit more variety there. But other than that, I had a great time. If you guys have a Nintendo Switch, I highly recommend picking up Super Mario Bros. Wonder. It was a fun game to play with the family. Overall, had a blast. But that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys have played Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Let me know what your favorite part was. Also, if you made it this far in the video, you guys are freaking awesome. I appreciate all the love and support you guys show me. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys on the next video.
Come back again sometime, yeah?